توب ستوريز من وطن الكرامة.
Hello, 9 p.m. our regular time for top stories by Watan الكرامة, and we start with latest developments and news items from Libya. Our correspondent reported in Tobruk, Salah Tarhouni, stressed that Parliament may hold a session tomorrow following a large number of consultations or meetings between members of the Parliament to reject the government of national unity, to emphasize the need to provide guarantees of the military institution which is fighting terrorism. The reporter added that to Watan الكرامة news channel that there is a meeting scheduled to discuss the change of the presidency on the back of taking advisor Agila Saleh Gouider individual decision to hold a dialogue with the president of the National Congress, Nouri Abu Sahmin. He said, as the report pointed out, that the day will see a consultative meetings for a group of deputies from the eastern and western regions to discuss the national unity government. Parliament member Osama Shahafi said that the so-called government of national reconciliation should submit a bill to criminalize the warm or the using of arms by all people as soon as possible and keep it in the hands of the armed forces and security only. Ashafi called general armed groups in Tripoli to hand over their weapons to the private entities that will cause this government to collect weapons, warning that group of transigents and stick with weapons outside the legitimacy of the state. Tunisian President Beji Qaid al-Sibsi received the head of the so-called government of national reconciliation at the presidential palace in Carthage, and expressed the OS appreciation for the Tunisian government and people for their support for various parties Libyans, stressing the importance of establishing a cooperative relations and strong relations between the two countries in various fields, serving the common interests of the two brotherly countries, as he said. Libya's permanent representatives to the United Nations, Ibrahim al-Dabbashi, said that the UN Security Council on Tuesday will announce its recognition for the government of national reconciliation as a legitimate authority in the country. He noted that the Parliament will be held tomorrow, especially in Libya's session, which discusses the proposal according to the proposed draft published by Dabbashi on his page on the website. The resolution would call on all international parties to cut off contracts and to stop support with any other groups or party other than the unity government, as well as to protect the unity of sovereign institutions of oil and the central bank and investment management institutions, and accept this government of national reconciliation and as a single legitimate government in the country. And still in Libya, protesters converged on Manchester Square in Al-Baidah city, rejecting the so-called National Unity Government. For his part, Assistant Under Secretary of the Ministry of Local Government in the Eastern Province, Izzeddin Boukhana, said that these events are expressions of popular rejection of any government or agreement outside the Dome of Parliament, and in support of the legitimacy of the Parliament and the General Command of the Arab Libyan Armed Forces in Libya. And to Ajdabia, a source in Ajdabia city stressed that the Daesh group loses in the city since the beginning of clashes are 6 people, including 2 prominent leaders, namely Munir Hamad al-Shahri and Ahmed Mazzak al-Ziwi. The source noted that it was unable to obtain statistical news of the wounded because the terrorists are now brought their wounded to the hospital, noting that they provide a conduct for the transfer of the wounded people from street to industrial districts out of the city. And two-thirds sources that unidentified aircraft flight above positions of terrorist Daesh group east of Sirte. The source speculated that the aircraft are French flying, noting that they were flying since late hours of yesterday over the areas of Kandil, Nofaliya, Bin Jawad to monitor the movements of the group. In the meantime, the source confirms that the terrorist Daesh group has demolished tombstones in the region. My audience, that is the wrap-up of our top stories for today. For much more, you can check our website www.watanilkarama.tv. Thanks very much for being with us. My greeting, رانيا البليدى.